Welcome to 100 Yards Football. Today is our community service segment. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. Today's guest is a very, very special young man to my heart. I've been knowing this young man ever since he came into the world. We go way back. A little something about the story, right? History. We come from a family in Memphis, Tennessee that's real big. And the name of the family is the Turner family. My name is Vincent, and this gentleman's name is Bryce. But out of that family, it's two brothers that's real close by the names of Chester and Opie Turner. And they're close as I cannot say that I'm proud of. Well, if you know me and you've been watching 100 Yards of Football, Chester is my father. Well, the gentleman today that I have on as my community service guest, Opie is his father. So you know it's a lot of blood and togetherness here today as I bring him on. So my cousin, Mr. Bryce Turner, author, he has two books that's on Amazon. They're going real high as we talk right now. He's the CEO of Big Shelf Publishing. He went to Oklahoma State. We all know about Oklahoma State, the great Barry Sanders, the best football player in the National Football League. This is the same school my cousin attended. And he's from Oklahoma City, a city that's produced Bobby Mercer, Gerald McCoy, Steve Owens, the 1969 Heisman Trophy winner. But they produced my cousin today, who's very talented. And let me bring him aboard, Mr. Bryce Turner.
What's going on?
Shelf Publishing. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right, cuz. How you doing this morning, Vincent?
You been living real well?
Man, I've been doing okay, man. But first I gotta let things be known, man. I want to give a shout out to you and all my Turner family and all my friends and family in the ATL, brother.
I appreciate that. And most of all, before we move on, let's give shout outs to our people in the 901, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's Chester, Obi. We got to go with my little brother, Chris. Everybody shout out. My Aunt Steen, everybody. We love you.
Okay, man, let's get to the meat and potatoes. You got two books out there right now. Yes, First question I want to ask you, what's the titles of your books and what inspired you to write these books that's going real well on Amazon right now?
Okay, but the first, my freshman project, what I came out with was Off the Front Line right here. Then I came out with my sophomore project, Burning the Candle at Both Ends. And I have a third project, my junior project, is called Unexpendable. It's not out yet. But what inspired me to write my first book, I lost a very close friend of mine. He was like a little brother. We was down in Dallas and I lost him. So that's what inspired me to write my first book.
Okay. When you put these two books together, where did you get your ideas? Because I know the books are kind of centered around your personal life and the journey you went throughout your years.
Right. Well, the ideas of my book, I had to come with some brand new ideas, not only for me to write the book, but I had to figure out a marketing scheme where I could promote and sell the books. So my deal with my book, I have the first ever book soundtrack with the old school jams to both books, double CD. So it's like when you read the book, you put in the double CD and you ride with it. It puts you like first character in the story. So I had to come with some brand new stuff to help promote and sell.
Okay. A thing that I want to ask is that God knows, I know it takes a special individual to write books and it takes time. I guess for my audience and here at 100 Yards Football, how long did it actually take you to write the book, get it published, and really get it on Amazon?
I'm going to tell you what, it was a long process because, sometimes dreams don't happen overnight. Most of the time, they don't happen overnight. This dream right here, what we're working on today is 2020. I started this back in 1998. So, it takes a while for dreams to come true. And you just have to stay there. And if you believe in your dream and your goals, you have to keep pushing and pursuing. So that's what I'm saying.
Now, the book is basically, as I'm getting back to the next question, is really centered on your life and your journey. Right. And tell us a little bit about the book and where you went from the start until you went to the finish of it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what. At the very beginning, I was in a bad situation, in a bad place at the time. But I made it into a positive place. I was in Kentucky in Christian County Jail. And when all this was taking place back in 1998, and with all the power I had and all the street wisdom that I had, there was nothing that I could do to bring back my partner. So the best thing that I could do to help and to educate other people was for me to write my story, to transfer my thoughts onto paper. And so it was a long process. It took me over a year to write my first book. I went in and I was writing like 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week until I get a writer's block or something like that. But it took me a whole year to complete Off the Front Line. And also burning the candle at both ends, every day in the lab, writing.
Now I know. Now, one thing I love about you that's really been progressing and just talking to you over the last few weeks is that you're really big about really educating the youth and telling them how to grow as man and being a mentor and really explain to them, hey, man, don't make these terrible mistakes in my life. Talk about that, how you really been dealing with the youth with your journey with your books.
Yes, and that's what I focus on is the youth. I go to juvenile centers, I go to prisons and give motivational speeches, but I spend a lot of time with the youth because I don't want them to go through what I went through, in and out the penal system. It messes up your career. It's hard to get a job, so you have to be self-employed. It's a lot of work involved. Yeah, they climb all their life and stuff. It looks good, but when you sit down behind them bars, bro, like you got to figure out how you can do things different. You did. So that's what I be telling the youth. I be seeing them going the wrong path. So they call me so I could talk to them and let them know this is not what you want to do.
Another thing I want to ask you right now is that when you're talking to the youth and in your life, like I said, I'm so proud of you, man, from where you started, where you at today. And the greatest thing I like about you took a negative, but you turn it into minutes positive. And the thing that I love about you, I'm not going to like, is that, man, you always positive. You got this God spirit. You uplifted me for the last 3 weeks. And people wouldn't know what you went through if they didn't know you. But just talking to you over 3 weeks, man, your spirit is so humble and kind. Just talk about where did you get to that place and then how you translate that into the book? Because, man, over the last 3 weeks, you've been really a great spirit to me.
Oh, man. Big Country, it all started with you when you was trying out for Arkansas Razorbacks, So
Lord.
To live it, baby.
Lord.
Training every day. It all started with you, Big Cousin. And I learned a lot from you, man. You got your college education, so I was coming right behind you. And so I just carried the torch where I could carry it, to other people and they can see what's going on, that you really do need this education. And so, Vincent, hey, man, all the props, man. First to Jehovah, I love Jehovah. He was blessed me, man, and looked out over me. And the guards used to come to my cell, right? They say, Turner, why you always smiling, man? Why you always smiling? I'll be in the hole or something. Fighting and stuff. So they say, the guard come by, everybody in the hole, they crying and stuff. He come by and I'm smiling and doing push-ups and reading my Bible and all that stuff. And it was like I wasn't alone. That's where I found myself, cousin. I wasn't alone because I had the man upstairs with me. He was with me every step of the way. That was my best friend. And so once you can not let nobody steal your joy, nobody can't take nothing from it. Just my body was in there, but my mind was up there in California or South Padre Island or something like that, or in Memphis, Tennessee. You dig what I'm saying? I wasn't even there. Just my body was there. So that's how you got to do it. You can't let nobody steal your joy, no matter what or where you at.
Okay. I've looked over your 2 books. Very good writing, very good information. I'm going to consider you a guy probably in the next 5 years. You're going to be one of them guys that both your books are going to turn into multi-million-dollar movies. You're going to be the next big thing, as we call, quote-unquote, writers in Hollywood. But what can you give advice to the new writers that came out of your situation and say somebody's watching the video today? What big advice can you give to them to move to the next level?
This is what I'm going to tell my people, my future authors that's coming up. You know, a lot of times you get a writer's block by thinking about your finance and how you're going to get this book out here. That was my big problem. I was in prison and stuff. I didn't have no money. It was real tight, right? So what the deal was, the first thing you have to do is not worry about the money. When the window opens, the steps will occur. You will take the steps to make things happen. The man upstairs, when you stay prayed up, the man upstairs is going to open up doors for you. So my advice to all my authors out there, my writers, don't worry about the money right now. All you need to worry about is transferring your thoughts onto paper. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the main thing that we're doing right now. Transfer your thoughts onto paper, then everything else will follow. And if you can't get nobody to help you, call us here at Big Chief Publishing. I will help.
Okay, man. Who helped you get your first book? Help you get started with your first book, and who helped you get your first book published?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what. When I came home, I didn't know which direction I was gonna go. My finances was funny, and I don't even know nothing about the book. I didn't know nothing about the book business. But just so happened, my mom, your auntie, Vincent Turner, was at the store.
Much love.
Yeah. She was at the store one day on the east side in Oklahoma City, and she ran into this woman who was passing out snippets and synopsis of her new book. And she was a professor at Langston University at the time. And her name was Crystal. Her name is Crystal Perkins. So my mom got the synopsis from Crystal and said, guess what? I found somebody who can help you publish your books. And she gave me the information. I called Crystal, and it was voila. It was lights on. She was out of Detroit. So we had a lot in common right there. I'm out of the D, she out of the D. And we just collaborated. And she really a people person, and she was wanting to see me get on my feet and coming home from prison and be successful. So big shout outs to Crystal Perkins and Christelle Publications. She even helped me open up Big Chief Publishing. You know, it's like an old saying, I could give a man a fish to eat, or I can give you a fishing pole and teach you how to fish. And so that's basically what Crystal did for me. She just didn't do my book. She said, baby, Bryce, I'm going to show you how to have your own publishing company. You're going to be able to publish your own book. So the first book, Off the Front Line, Crystal helped me. The second book, Big Chief Publishing did it, and we've been helping people ever since. So
okay, man. I know you did several other interviews. You did a lot of touring. Basically, man, who have you met? Quote unquote, who are the superstars you met?
Oh man,
since you've been touring and putting your books out there.
I'm gonna tell you what, cuz Vincent, I ran a list. I have a list of people, celebrities, and people who have helped me, who I met, and I'm gonna just name off a few.
Yeah, let's hear them, man. Let's hear them.
I'm gonna tell you what. One of the people that I'll never forget is I was in the room and I met Louis Farrakhan. We was in New Orleans at the Essence Festival. I was in the room with him. I didn't really get to talk, but we was right there. And then I also met Jamie Foxx. I gave Jamie Foxx my first book, Off the Front Line. As he was getting in the limo, we all backstage. I met Jamie Foxx. Had a few words with Oprah. We was trying to do our little book deal when I first came home, and the timing wasn't right. But Oprah, I'm ready for you now. Timing is right. And so I was on tour with Frankie Beverly and Mays for a while through my guy, Terry Harvey. He's a super producer with Gap Band and Frankie Beverly. So he put me on with Frankie Beverly. I never thought that I would be on tour, and riding with Frankie. But one of the most important people who I talked to and I met Vincent was Tito Jackson, man. I'll never forget that. I always loved Tito. As a little boy living in Detroit, I had a German Shepherd wolf, black on black. His name was Tito Von Swatz. And so I'll never forget that. And Tito was like my favorite guy from the Jacksons, man. Terry called Tito up on the phone, man, and put me on the phone because we were supposed to go out to California and go to the Jacksons' house. My boy, he's in with the Jacksons. He got pictures with him, Terry Harvey. So I just want to say thank you to all the people and the celebrities that I've met. And they told me to keep my head up and keep pushing. I was kind of getting discouraged because the paper wasn't dropping fast enough like I thought it should drop. But you got to have patience in this game. You got to have patience, and you just got to keep pushing. But now I'm back, and I understand the arithmetics of this game. So those are some of the influential people that I've met since I've been right here grinding with my books.
Okay, man. The final question, probably the question of the hour, is what is your next project and where do you go from here once we leave here today at 100 yards of football?
Oh man, I got a lot of work, a lot of ground to cover right now. But first, we still gonna be promoting these books, man, worldwide through Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kindle, and all the other local bookstores around. I'm gonna keep pushing that. I got 5 books, so I'm planning. My goal is I got 5 movies coming. So we're working on our first movie right now. We're doing the script writing and all that's getting prepared. And my dream and my goal is to turn. First, I had to transfer my thoughts on the paper with the book. Now I have to transform this book onto the big screen. So that's where I'm at right now. We're going to turn these books into real live motion pictures. So that's where I'm at. That's my goal.
Okay, and man, it's been great to have you on today. You've been an inspiration to me. I like it. I like your drive. I see success written all over you. The only thing I can say is being the oldest cousin here is, man, you did bring out one thing. It's all about the man up above. When it's all dark and cloudy, he's the only one that can get you through, and you know about that. But
Right.
I'm proud of you, man. To write 2 books at a high level that you've done, there's a lot of people can't do that here in this great world. But I know this. You have been a very special inspiration to me in what I'm trying to do here at 100 Yards Football. So, to end this video today, what would you like to tell our audience at 100 Yards of Football and going forward?
What I want to say to 100 Yards of Football, Vincent, you're a big inspiration to me. When I turn on this computer and I see my cousin right there, and he's been handling sports. You love sports. You eat sports for breakfast. That's how much you love it. But I want to thank you and your production, man, and your production crew. I want to thank my production crew on this end. And the last thing I want to say, Cuzzo, is you get a book, and you get you a little bottle of Moet or something like that. And my thing to you is we're going to wish the best champagne wishes and caviar dreams, and we're going to meet y'all on the big screen. You dig what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. And it's your boy, Bryce Turner, man, and we love you coming out of OKC. And all my people around the United States, baby. We love you. Thank you, Vincent, and thank you, 100 Yards, for inviting me on your show. It's a real honor and a real pleasure, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, you heard it from my cousin, the very talented Bryce Turner, CEO of Big Shelf Publishing. He's got 2 books out that's going to probably be turned into movies coming up in the new few years. And he's a guy that's going to put out a lot more books about what's going on in life out here in the world.
Yes, sir.
So, if you like the video today, please comment and share it. We love you here at 100 Yards of Football. And as I always end the video, today I'm going to do something special. I'm Vincent Turner, a.k.a. the baby son of Chester and Inez Turner, but also I'm the nephew of Opie Turner, who also lives in the 901, who is this young man's father. So God bless, and thank you for watching 100 Yards of Football today.
Cheers, baby. We love you.